agency that has perhaps lost sight of its original mission. Joining me now is Jeremy Scahill, a fellow at the Nation Institute and author of Blackwater, The Rise of the World's Most Powerful Mercenary Army. Welcome, Jeremy. I'm really glad you're here to talk about this. Okay, what is driving this evolution to a more militarized CIA?
Well, you know, what we've seen under the Obama administration is a real move away from what they call HUMINT, human intelligence collection on the ground, and away from trying to put prisoners in places like Guantanamo or in secret CIA black sites. And basically the whole policy has just become a killing machine, a paramilitarized approach to counterterrorism. And the career of David Petraeus, particularly over the past 10 years, really puts a fine point on that. Petraeus was a key figure in expanding U.S. war zones to countries like Yemen and Somalia. And then when he became director of the CIA, you saw a real increase in the number of drone strikes outside of Afghanistan and Pakistan and into more of these countries.
Okay, so what is the downside of that? Because if you are using technology, can that serve as well as the human intelligence?
Right. I mean, what I'm hearing from intelligence professionals is that in a place like Yemen, and I've been there several times, when you do a drone strike and you kill people that have nothing to do with terrorism, and you kill innocent civilians, you're actually creating more enemies than you're taking off the battlefield. So it potentially could have blowback on you. But also, the key to peace in any of these regions is not going to be through a militarized solution. It's going to be through actual intelligence, understanding how the other side thinks, and that generally has been the business of the CIA, but there's a dearth of intelligence right now in many countries where mini wars are flaring up.
But the way we are fighting wars, the locations that in which we are fighting wars, isn't this just a natural evolution? When you look at the front lines, oh, wait a minute, in a lot of places there really aren't front lines anymore. There are these sort of disparate areas, and you have to pull it all together, and that is what you are fighting.
Right. I mean, I think we need to look at proportionality also. I mean, in a country like Yemen, where AQAP, Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, has probably around 1,000 members and may have the potential to bring down a U.S. aircraft or airliner, which would be atrocious. They don't represent an existential threat. So the question we have to ask is our response making the problem we claim to be fighting worse? And that's what I've seen in Somalia and Yemen and elsewhere where I've been the past year. Okay,
let's talk about budgets. And we know that the CIA's operating budget is classified, and murky at least on those details. But might all of this evolution come as a result of budget issues, which we know are present everywhere in the government? Why not there as well?
Well, I mean, it's an interesting question. I mean, the drones are a relatively cheap form of technology. I think that's one of the reasons why they're so attractive. The other part of this, though, and this may sound cynical, is that my sense of what happens on Capitol Hill is that when General Petraeus would go before Congress as the director of CIA, or Admiral McRaven, who's the commander of the Special Operations Command, Congress members say, well, how do we measure progress? And in their eyes, body counts does the job. How many al-Qaeda figures have been killed? The president made it a centerpiece of his national security campaign when he was running against Romney. How many times at the convention did they say Osama bin Laden is dead? Or the president would say, if anyone doubts my resolve, ask the 23 al-Qaeda figures that we've killed. I think we're sort of operating on fear, and also Congress is asleep at the wheel, and this is the easiest way to sort of say, well, we're winning the war on terror, when in reality we may actually be creating more people with an inspiration to commit acts of terrorism in countries that most Americans haven't heard of, Mali, Mauritania. I mean, these are the next fronts.
Okay, Jeremy Scahill, thank you so much. It's an article worth reading. Appreciate your time.